You're tuned in to Vocalo Radio, Chicago's only NPR music station. I'm your host, Bekoe, and alongside me, I got Sherie and D Smoke. How are you all doing?
I'm good. We're good.
Doing excellent.
You know, with it being Valentine's Day, how did you all first meet?
So it was a studio in North Hollywood. I forgot the name, but it was I was working there a lot, and I forgot the name of the studio, but it was a studio in like North Hollywood, and there's a producer that I knew that was mutual producer that worked with him as well, and he was like, "Yo, can you come in and lay some strings and some vocals for an artist named D Smoke?" And I was like, yeah, sure. So it was like one of his songs called The Rapture. You know, we had a good vibe, just like talking. And once we left the studio, it was like a thing of like, oh, okay, well, we got to connect again. We got to connect again. And every time that he had a project, anytime he had something, he would hit me to be like, oh, hey, come through, you want to come in the session. And the last time we did a session, I left my charger at his house.
You did that on purpose. That's what that sound like.
I left my charger at his house, and I was like, yo, I'm going out of town, but when I come back in town, can I come back and grab it? And he was like, yeah. So
let me tell my.
And then
so I was like, because we kept seeing each other, and it seemed like every producer or even video director I work with, like the video director for Rapture, she was like out of all of the tracks, she picked out the violins and was like, I hear violins in there, get the violin player who played it. And I was like, oh yes, this girl. She was like, even better, get her, And then I'm working with DJ Battle Cat and Battle on this one song, and Battle Cat is like, man, I hear live strings on this. Like, I'm gonna get live strings. You know anybody? So then I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I do. I just met somebody. Boom, call her again. And then that's when, she left the charger. And then, so when I called her like, hey, is this yours? Or no, she called me like, I left my charger, but I'm going out of town. Hold on to it for me. I was like, for sure. I was like, well, when you come get it, we going to have to grab some food. Like,
Real smooth, playalistic with it. Okay.
Otherwise, I'm selling the charger on eBay. You will never see it again.
He didn't say that.
If we can't grab nothing to eat, I'm gonna offer up this charger and get a couple bucks for it.
We ended up hanging out like the whole entire day. It was just like, it was a thing to where I got to see him outside the music, who he was outside of D Smoke, and we just connected on a deeper level. And just realized, oh wow, like, okay, I could see something deeper connection than just the musician.
Music. Part. You said, you play violin. You're seeing in the video, I want to say, what video is that, D Smoke, that you first put Sherie in when she was playing the violin?
That was Rapture. Yep. Directed by Child.
Sherie, for you, when did you get introduced to the violin? Because that's not an easy instrument to play at all.
Yes, I got introduced to the violin when I was about 8 years old. I was in elementary school, and they had the option to like go to band or orchestra or chorus. And I was just like, I love the violin because it just has a singing element to it. Like when you hear it played, it just sounds like a singing voice. Both my parents, they don't play instruments. My mom was a singer. My dad used to rap and things like that. But when I picked up the violin, I really believe it was a divine thing, because it was just something that I never let go of, something that I was always just drawn to continue to learn. My parents were like, you have to go to lessons. I was just like, I'm going. Like, I would just like, Mom, I have to. She'd be like, oh, wow. It's the thing where I always just wanted to dive deeper and deeper into it and learn how to play different types of music on the violin other than classical, but jazz and hip hop. And, I just wanted to kind of like, just really dive into all the ways it could be played. And just until now, I just never stopped, and so it became an extension of who I am as an artist.
I mean, well, when did you extend from the violin to the singing? Was the singing before, or did you kind of like merge that in later on in life?
It was before. So my singing, I was always singing before. I was always singing with my mom, singing at church, just always singing, and that kind of drew me to the violin because it sounded like a singing instrument, and I was just like, okay, cool. I wanna learn how to make it sing.
If I'm not mistaken, you transitioned from Atlanta to LA. Where around this time when you were when you were learning violin, were you still in Atlanta at that time, or did you already transition?
So I moved to LA in 2019.
So what actually led you to want to, take that journey, move to all the way West Coast? You down south, you move West Coast. So what led you to, want to take that hike to LA?
I really wanted to go to LA because it just had a lot of more musical opportunities. It was for me, it was more diverse. It just had more variety of things to do. When I moved to LA, I was like, I'm going by myself. My mom was like, you have a year to make something happen because you don't know anyone out there. How could you just move to LA and you don't know anyone? What are you going to do? For a year, I was doing little things like teaching violin and teaching voice and doing different gigs out here. But what kind of solidified it was when I landed on my first big placement with Ariana Grande on Positions. It got me a publishing deal with Warner. And then it just kind of got me situated as in being able to, make a living and write songs for people and things like that. And even how that happened was crazy.
I want to also tap into tour. You all toured with Alicia Keys. How is that going on tour with no kids alongside Alicia Keys?
I was honored to be a part of it because D was invited to open for her, and he was like, yo, babe, let's go. I want you a part of the set. And when we were out there, it was our first time going to Europe and seeing different cities like Paris and Denmark and Germany and all these beautiful places. But for me, it was just being able to, of course, see her see her firsthand and see how she does her thing as an artist. She's incredible. And then it was like also seeing the love and how everybody responded to the performance. They just were very receptive and just in awe of what Dee brought and how he brought me and his uncle who plays the bass and his nephew and an assistant who did the background singing and dancing and things like that. It was just a beautiful, well-rounded performance. And I believe that the people really enjoyed the musicianship from him playing the piano and then me playing the violin and his uncle playing the bass. And just the whole, everything. It just was an amazing show on top of an amazing time with amazing crew and people and of course, Alicia. So yeah, it was a great experience.
I know, D, you've been doing shows here, there. All before the conversation, I spoke on how you were here in Chicago and you performed. Mm-hmm. So to actually, have your backbone be with you, how is that for you? Because now you have your supportive system, and then both of you all are musically inclined, and you all are able to experience that together. So, for you, how is that?
Like you said, that you just got your support system there with you. When you need that recharge, you have your person, that's there. But it's also not without its challenges. Me particularly, when I work, I go into a certain mode. So having to negotiate the type of space to stay in that mode, like almost in character. Like last year I got back into acting kind of seriously. I'm on a show called Mayor of Kingstown right now, and working with a good friend of mine and wonderful director, Tasha Smith. There's a principle, and I'm maybe misquoting it, but it's just called like cumulative energy, that over the course of multiple takes, you develop like momentum in that character. So in between takes, they're like, hey, look, leave people alone. Don't have them come back and have to focus on being courteous, being nice. No, if it's a dark scene, don't pull them out of that. So in the same sense, on tour, there are like real conversations that grown-ups have to have, where it's like, look, the immense pressure of every night, because it's one thing to be in festival season, but tour is rapid. So we're not drinking. People offering drinks, you turning them down because it's like the sleep isn't the same. Oftentimes we're sleeping on the way to the other city. That is the sleep we're going to get.
Rest.
And so because you're not getting the same quality of rest, you better not be drinking and smoking, because you will actually, and especially with my raps ain't like, I chill. I build, I do this. I'm skilled. Like that ain't my.
Did you just freestyle that? You just freestyle that, date.
Yeah, I was just right. That ain't how I get down. I mean, at that pace, I could freestyle a whole album. You know what I'm saying? But this stuff is lyrical, so trying to give that level of performance every night, it's like you got to protect your instrument, and that's what they say on the set: protect your instrument.
Let's chime into the music. You know, D Smoke, you dropped 2 projects in 2021. You dropped several singles in 2022. You dropped several singles too as well, Sherie, and now is V-Day. And finally, you all come together for a single called Candlelight. Why did I mean, if I could be mistaken, but have you all did a track together before outside of you being on a violin, Sherie?
I mean, there's some songs that she's on of mine that haven't been released yet.
Got it.
We dropped a song Better Half where she sang the like the sample intro. At first we had an Amel LaRue sample and Amel LaRue, we were using it and didn't know that she just don't be clearing stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
It was like, we sent it to her. She's like, oh, this is so beautiful. No. and
we sampled, we did our own version.
She's on Better Half, and it's appropriate that it is that way because it's my song to her on War and Wonders. And so
before, but we haven't put out one that's like, you know, me featuring him featuring me. This
Correct.
is the first. Yeah.
Who titled this track amongst you two, Candlelight? Who came up with the title?
Yes, I came up with the title. Me and Daniel have a lot of candles in our house. We like candles a lot. We like candles a lot in our house. I like candles when it's my reflection time, when I'm with myself and spend my time with God and devotion. I light a candle. When we spend time together, we light candle. When we I just believe lighting a candle is a sacred moment in time where a special sacred moment in time where you just literally get closer to the intimate parts of yourself or intimate part with your partner. So that's why in restaurants you see they got the candle right in the middle of the table, because why? It's a moment where you're eating dinner together and growing closer to each other. So it's like when or in the bedroom there's candles lit. Why? You know, any song, turn off the lights and light a candle. You know what I'm saying? Any song, any love song, when the candle is on, it's always a sacred moment of bringing two people together, or bringing yourself closer to whatever reflection time or thing. So I just believe just that candlelight is just a beautiful sacred moment, and that's what I wanted to kind of focus on, some sacred moments in our relationship and what brings light to that.
Sherie, let the world know what single we finna get into. Go ahead and introduce it.
All right, so this next single is called Candlelight by Sherie, D Smoke. I hope you guys enjoy.